He was a cultural icon. But whatever happened to JC? The sex, the drugs, the aristocrats, the untold story. JC was a smash hit in the early 21st century and rose to the top of popular culture short films. By early 2007, JC had it all: fame, fortune, and money. But that all changed for the worse.
Well, we had it all. I suppose when you're on top for so long, it's hard not to think of yourself as invincible. But we did fall.
The television skit series, The Adventures of JC, started in early 2007 when Paul, Andrew, and a painting named JC wrote, directed, and acted in their first short feature film, Steamboat JC. JC was a comic genius. He was witty, but he also made you think. He was a lot funnier than a lot of the other paintings that I've worked with over the years. Steamboat JC was critically acclaimed, but underachieved in its field.
Well, I guess the reason it wasn't overly successful was probably a testament to the fact that it didn't reach its target audience. I think that there was a problem with the tracking in the tape.
A tracking error in the tape and its duration of 7 hours did not help its success. However, due to its popularity with the underground market, it led to a sequel and eventually a full series of JC skits. The television skit series took its audience by storm in its first season, as the 3 writers enjoyed success. JC was concerned about what people thought of his comedy, and he was glad that people loved it in the end.
That night we partied hard. JC, he was into the women, and his good looks caused him to go a little nuts, but that night he had a sixum, and he got a few girls pregnant along the way, and I think that night was the start of that, because they don't make condoms for paintings.
The Adventures of JC was gaining popularity, as it was airing all over the globe, in 56 different languages.
但係事件係發生咗，市民對政喺各方面嘅法係有冇良知，會作出客觀嘅評價。我相信香港人。
This success led to JC taking creative control over the project. Yeah, we were no longer writers anymore. He was going to take 80% of the profits from the t-shirt sales, the JC home MRIs that we were manufacturing, which admittedly didn't sell very well. Poor investment. The TV executives wanted more JC, and a second season was commissioned. It was time to get back to what JC loved, writing comedy. But his partying habits got in the way.
JC was heavily into drugs and alcohol, and he'd always come into work high as a kite, and our work would suffer. He was on every drug known to man. Dimitab, it didn't do anything to him, admittedly, but he took it. We gave him an intervention, and he told us that he saw the error of his ways. Well, he told us that when the doctor said drink 5 glasses of water a day, he thought that it meant 5 glasses of heroin a day. But JC would still stay out late and indulge in drug-fueled sex orgies. The studio was getting impatient, and so they included a new co-star that would change the makeup of the group forever. Lewis Glenn was put into the group to film some scenes that JC couldn't. He played a character called Lewis Glenn. Lewis Glenn declined the opportunity to comment on JC and requested that his current state of health not be alluded to, on account of him being deceased. In the second season, the group became one more, and the load was lessened on JC, but not on JC's mind. JC was jealous of Lewis after we filmed the second season. That was around the same time that Lewis, God rest his soul, passed away. Lewis's death was met hand in hand with JC's new bloodstained tattoo, acquisition of a gun license, and failed attempt at getting a 007 style license to kill. These things are clear tribute to the late Lewis's memory. The second season consisted of 41 episodes and was well received and achieved a record number of viewings for episode 1. However, JC was not satisfied with the change in casting and was disillusioned by the 40 episodes that Paul and Andrew wrote. In late 2008,
JC told his manager that he wanted to start a solo career and form his own television show, The Adventures of JC, featuring JC.
Well, I couldn't believe he bailed on us because I was house sitting for him at the time, and he called me to tell me that he hated me and that I had to feed his kitten. I did.
But JC was still under contract for another season, and so, with his partying habits at their peak, he started writing.
His comedy when writing the third season was a little off the pace, what it used to be. He would bring his girlfriend to the recording sessions.
JC had teamed up with Yoko Ono and was writing comedy that would not be commercial and would be anti-conformist. Unfortunately, the studio was unhappy with the results of the first episode they wrote. The aptly titled 4 minutes of black screen with occasional barking sound effect was axed. JC was angered by the studio's refusal and so kept partying, rarely showing up for work. It was early in 2009 when the studio decided to sue him over failing to abide by his contract. JC went to the first court date, but just 2 weeks into the trial, he was found in his apartment, dead.
Well, it's a terrible shame for comedy that he's gone. However, in his death, we discovered a lot about him. Like, for instance, he was an excellent painter. He was a brilliant self-portrait of himself that we auctioned off to Mexico.
JC's body was never found. However, the uncanny self-portrait painting of himself was sent to Mexico, where U.S. law does not apply. But what killed JC? Was it suicide or something more sinister, like a bunyip? No one will ever know, but one thing is for sure, he will be missed.
JC was a great person. He was one of the good people, you know. And he'll be sorely missed.